An island paradise in the Mediterranean. I'm about to land in Sardinia, but I'm not here just to enjoy the sunshine. The Euro 2012 Soccer Championship kicks off in less than 2 weeks, and the German national team are here busy preparing. What I want to know is the squad ready? Germany have chosen a top location for their training base. The vegetation is lush, and the team have their own private beach. Their hotel is near the seaside resort of Porto Cervo in the north of the island. It was built in the 1960s as a playground for the international jet set. I'm one of around 50 journalists who've come along with the team. Most are staying from the first day of the training camp through to Germany's last match in the championship. At the start of today's training session, coach Joachim Löw comes over to say hello. It's just a short greeting. As he well knows, over the coming weeks, his every move will be watched. After the usual team ritual is dispensed with, the squad get down to training. The main purpose here is to work on fitness and a little ball control. The more tactical stuff will come later. When the session is over, Marco Reus, soon to join Borussia Dortmund, comes over for an interview. It's the only interview of the day, and all the journalists are keen to get a front row spot. Marco Reus is one of the biggest talents in German football, but he's only been with the team for a year, and this is his first big tournament. It's hard work, he says. But we have a major championship coming up, so it's fun. The camp in Sardinia is designed to help the players recover from the tough Bundesliga season and clear their heads in preparation for the European Championship. No fans have come along, but there are a few inquisitive tourists. They seem very motivated, this man says, quite determined. Yeah, they're all motivated, but they're not all here yet. And that's Löw's problem. He had to make do with only half his squad in the early part of the training. Germany began its preparations before all the other Euro 2012 teams, while many players were still tied up with their clubs. In the first press conference, we wanted to know whether Löw was too ambitious with his plans. Obviously, it's a little more difficult for us this time than in 2010, he says. But I'm still absolutely relaxed. The preparations will still work out well despite the extra hurdles. And we'll go into our first match with a good team. And I'm not changing my expectations, either for better or for worse, as a result of this preparation time. His optimism feels well-founded. Professional and very much in charge, Joachim Löw sticks around after the press conference for a little small talk. He's friendly, but of course guarded in what he says. I'm curious to know what the local people think of their soccer guests and decide to pay a visit to the man rumoured to be Porto Cervo's biggest football expert. Alessandro Usse runs a pizzeria down by the harbour. Italian soccer stars regularly dine at his restaurant, and he's a former professional footballer himself. His pizzeria is a popular meeting place for the foreign journalists, and some of the German managerial team have also dropped by here too. Alessandro is obviously supporting Italy, but he says if Italy goes out, he'll support the Germans, who've impressed him so far.
I think that the football team is more expert, more dynamic than the Italian team. But you know, in a championship like Euro 2012, it can happen all.
Before I leave, I ask Alessandro to show me a little of what he can do. It may be many years since he played as a professional, but he clearly hasn't lost his touch. After 1 week in Sardinia, the German national team fly on to their second training camp in the south of France. I decide to take a boat instead, crossing the Mediterranean from Sardinia to France. The journey takes a little longer, but it's worth it for the great scenery. But by the time we get to the Côte d'Azur, we've lost the blue skies and the heat. Here, it's wet and cold. The team are meeting inside a marquee, while we journalists get to stand out in the rain. When the team finally comes out onto the pitch, it soon becomes clear that Joachim Löw has upped the pace. All training sessions are now with the ball, and the squad is now almost complete, with the exception of the Bayern Munich players, who've been given a few extra days to recover from their Champions League defeat. Only officially accredited journalists are supposed to watch the training now, but one fan still finds a way of getting a look in. Then it's on to an important PR appointment, complete with video presentation. Mario Götze and Benedikt Höwedes are representing the team in a promotional interview with the team sponsor. Benedikt Höwedes gives the obligatory plug for the firm's new luxury car. It's a compact car, he says, but very dynamic and sporty. It's aggressive and hungry. I can well imagine that I might buy this car myself. Then the attention turns to Mario Götze. He's 19 and only just starting to drive. After giving the car a quick plug, he turns his attention back to football. We're all optimistic, he says, very focused. We want to play well, and I think you can see in the training that we're really looking forward to it. The next day we get our first glimpse of the sun since the team landed here. I have a little spare time and decide to check out the area. The village where the German team is staying is called Touretz. It's to the north of Nice. The training facilities were made available by the sponsor. The hotel owner is also German. The locals pay little attention to the team. These men, for example, didn't even know the Germans were here. But two other big sporting stars have taken the trouble to drop in. Formula One drivers Michael Schumacher and Nico Rosberg. They were in the area for the Grand Prix in Monaco. They hope their visit will help motivate the players. We've been working so hard the last few days, he says, so of course it's good when other big sportsmen drop by. And Michael is one of the biggest in sport. And it soon becomes clear that cars aren't their only passion. Nico Rosberg says he's a big soccer fan, so it's great to visit the national team, he says, and chat to the players, ask about their training and how they're preparing for the European Championship. Schumacher is unwilling to talk in front of the camera today. A short while later, they wish the team all the best and say goodbye. The break was just under an hour, now it's back to work. The training sessions are getting steadily more intensive. Joachim Löw goes over exact tactics and styles of play, constantly correcting and adjusting as he goes. Everything is prepared meticulously. Löw has a plan for every player. There's only two where he's not sure yet. Lars and Sven Bender. The twins are both vying for the same position in midfield. Löw still has 4 players too many in his squad, so things could get difficult for the brothers. One of them will probably have to leave. Lars Bender says if it's really true that only one of them can play in the European Championship, then the other brother will support him whatever. I'm sure Sven would agree, he says. Yeah, he says, I can't add anything to that. The assistant coaches arrive for the next training session. They've decided mountain bikes are the best way to get around. For many of the players, the training sessions have become a race to get into the squad or into the starting lineup. So the players are taking more risks. It's the right kind of attitude, and the communication between the players is getting better all the time. Joachim Löw can be satisfied with his preparations. Veteran striker Miroslav Klose is sticking with the training even though he's struggling with an injury. He was born in Poland, so this year's championship is particularly important to him. I'm really looking forward to it, he says. Unfortunately, all 3 group games will be in Ukraine. I'd like to have played in Poland. But then the motivation is even greater to be first in the group so that we can have a few matches in Poland. I'm really looking forward to it. In Poland itself, the sense of anticipation is also growing. I've left the German team to travel to Warsaw and follow the countdown. Poland will host around half the matches, Ukraine the other half. People here don't seem to have such high hopes for their own team. Many would be happy if Poland made it to the quarter-final, but they think Germany will do well.
I think they have a chance for winning the competition.
Yeah, it's one of the best national team in the German history. You have great players, Polish players, Klose, Podolski. I think that you also have a great chance to be in the at least the semi-final.
The new national stadium in Warsaw was only finished last year and is fast becoming a major tourist attraction in the city. The stadium will host the opening match in just under 2 weeks' time, when the real fun begins.